to AiBlocks. In this video, we're going to show you how you can create your own Notorious frog derivatives using our AI models. To begin, connect your wallet. We do support Warm Wallet and strongly recommend everyone uses that to keep your NFTs safe. You can find out more about it by clicking on the icon in the top right. Having connected your wallet, you'll need to add some credits, so click on the Get Credits button and type in a number up to 100 and click Buy. It's not actually going to charge you for anything, but this is how you get started. So, once you have signed in, you'll need to select one of the two Notorious frog models and then come up with a prompt. So let's have a look at a Frog Samurai getting ready for battle. So there are a number of settings you can change here. We're going to keep it fairly straightforward and just click Generate to begin. Image generation will take between 3 to 6 seconds, depending on the advanced options you may have set. Setting a higher sampling steps will increase how long it takes to create an image, but it will also take more time to thinking about what image to make. The other settings we'll go through now. For instance, CFG scale is the scale that determines how much emphasis it should put on the prompt. So if we turn this up and click Generate, we should see something slightly different to what was created moments ago. So there's a number of other things you can do to change your prompts. We've added an Enhance button that gives you a bunch of different styles for you to choose from. So for instance, let's get a sketch version of this exact same image. By clicking Sketch, you can see all of these words have now appeared in the prompt box that will tell the AI model to create something more reminiscent of a pencil sketch. There we go. There are a number of other settings, so feel free to play around with these. You can also create multiple images at a time. You can do up to 4 and then up to 16. Bear in mind that the time to generate will increase with every image that you add. So we'll do 4 at the moment. This is a good way to find out some styles and some seeds and some settings you may want to explore further. So from here, if you have made a particular image that you like, you can come back to it and you can select the image and it will tell you all of the settings that you use to generate that image, including the seed. You can then click on the Copy Prompt Details button. That will use the exact same settings used to generate that one image. This is very useful if you want to make changes. So for instance, let's make this image slightly wider for the comic book that we're going to export in a few minutes. So changing the height, changing the width rather, and clicking Generate, keeping everything else the same. Should give us a slightly different take on that same image, using the same seed that was previously used. So it's not exact, so what we want to do is change our seed to a -1 seed. That will allow us to get a different image using the same settings and the same prompt every time we click the Generate button. Now, just so you know, images are trained with training data with other base images, if you will, that are 512 by 512. That basically means the output images you're going to generate will always be best if you output at a 512 by 512 resolution. Something outside of that can get a little funky. So do keep tweaking with settings until you can find something that you consider perfect, because the technology is there to deliver that, but it does take a bit of fine-tuning to find the perfect settings. I'll just try a different enhance feature. Let's try some cyberpunk frogs. Pretty cool. So, once we've created a number of images that we like, we can export it as a comic book page. But before we do that, let's have a look at one of the other models. So if we come down to Advanced Options and try out Hazer's Frogland model, this is a model that's been made by Hazer, good old Spot from the Nazar Frogs in our awesome community, and who has put a lot of time and effort into creating a model that has been trained in an entirely different way to the Notorious frog model. And this gives a wildly different outcome of results and is really, really cool. So we're going to take the width back to standard 512 by 512, and let's just get a few more of these because they do look very cool. go. So once you have a bunch of images that you do like, if you want to export a comic book page, then go to your creations, which again is in the top right of the screen, and select the images that you want to add to your comic. So for instance, we're going to pick this one for the first image. Now I would suggest you select an image that is wider than it is tall for your first image, because the top comic book panel is quite wide. From there you can select 5 other images to get the final comic book, at which point you can click Generate Comic. So you'll notice the positioning is not quite right. This is where you can resize the browser, and that will dynamically change each panel with each image in until you have something more in line with what you want. Once you've found the right dimensions and you're happy, then you click Generate Comic. That's going to save the image inside your creations for you to work with at a later point in time. And with that, that is a quick intro into how to use the AI Blocks platform to create your Notorious frog models. We hope you have a lot of fun creating content.